Hey there, computer scientists. So I'm going to go through the basics of arrays. And if you have any questions, please hit me up in Discord or email me. Basically, I want you to think of arrays like a series of identical buckets. And by identical, I don't mean they have the same thing inside them. I mean they all hold the same type of thing. So if you have an array, it's like a list of 5 integers or 5 doubles or 5 strings or 5 arrays. It doesn't matter. You can put whatever you want in those buckets, but that has to be the same type of thing. You can't have, in Java, you can't have an array where the first thing is an integer, the second thing is a string, the third thing is a Boolean, and so on and so on. All the things have to be the same type. And the reason for that is because all the buckets need to be the same size. In other languages, you can mix and match, but not in Java. So basically, you have arrays are usually with square brackets, so they're split up with commas. Each one of these would be a bucket. So how do we say we want, a list of 5 integers? How do we tell Java that we want that? Well, we use that square bracket. So we would say int, like that. It says, instead of just int x, right, which gives us 1 integer, we want, instead of int x, which just gives us 1 integer, right, we want an array of integers called, grades, for example, right? And you can just declare it like that, and then later on, say what's in it, just like you can with any variable. But often we want to say equals new int. So that is going to create a variable called grades. We know that it is made up of integers, and it's an array because it has those little square brackets. And right away, we're going to send it to a new array of integers that is 5 buckets long. So that's just like, saying int 0, int x1, int x2, int x3, int x4. Except we're all putting it into one variable. And if we want to access any of those buckets, it's the same way we accessed individual characters in a string. We can just say grades 0, 0 equals 5. And that sets the first bucket, the contents of the first bucket, equal to 5. All right, we cannot say this one equals 5.5. Java will not like that, right? Because grades is made up of integers, you cannot make it into a double. It will not let you do that. Same thing, you can't make it into a string. All the buckets have to be the same type. What if you know what you want to put in your array and you don't want to initialize it to nothing and then have to put all the stuff in it, whatever? Isn't there a way, like you say, int x equals 5, isn't there a way to do that with arrays as well? Well, sure there is. All right, we could say, for example, string weekdays, right? Monday, So we could do that, and that would assign these to each bucket in weekdays. It would automatically count them up and say, oh, look, there's 5 of them. So it will automatically know to create weekdays as an array of 5 strings. And you can do that with, you know, integers or whatever. So say, for example, you were creating your array and you wanted to know how long it is because you needed to go through all the items one at a time, right? Arrays are a object, so they have a property called length. So I can just say weekdays dot length. Like that. That's a variable, integer. Right? So unlike string length, where I have to have the parentheses, if it's an array, so it's 5 elements long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last thing in 6.1 is accessing and changing individual parts of an array. And you do that, like I said, exactly the same way you would do with strings. So if I said, hey, I'm going to change Wednesday to Wodensday, I would just have to say weekdays. Remember, it starts at 0, 0, 1, 2 equals Wodensday instead. And that's how I access it. So, print it out before and after, you'll see the change. Wednesday and Wednesday. And that's it.